Coach, the city of Seattle, known for coffee, grunge music, and, of course, rain. And we're definitely going to get a heavy dose of the last of those three here tonight as you look inside a Wet n Wild CenturyLink field. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Check. Check. Hey, flipper. Check. John. Back.
Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's second and a yard from the 34.
Let's get off the field. 25. Check 25. Check 25. Kill.
Cousins gives way to Cook.
Check it back.
And he is down deep into Seattle territory. A big play there out of Cook. 47 yards on the ground. Big run on the opening drive, and they better watch out for this guy or it's going to be a long game.
Back when I played in our scouting reports getting ready for games, we'd put stars next to the guys that we thought were the key players on the other side. There should have been 3 or 4 stars next to that guy's name.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down.
John.
Now Cousins. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Just like that. Watch safety creep. Safety's creeping. Wide. Big ass. SOS. Gun. SOS. Check 9. Gun.
On the ground, it's Cook. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. The impressive opening drive continues and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. Check. Check 3.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. Just a yard, but that's all they needed. And by the slimmest of margins, it'll be first and goal. A stop there on third. They could have held him to 3 on this opening drive. Now they have to bow their necks on first and goal.
And if I'm looking at this from the offense's point of view, that's a big-time pickup right there, and I'd go right at them with another momentum play. I'd go quickly and attack them because right now they probably have their heads down a little bit since they didn't stop them on third down.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That really sets him back. A loss of 6. Excellent effort defensively by him. 2 tackles for a loss last week, now 1 here in the first quarter.
He's an absolute disruptor, isn't he? And I think most offenses would love to go against guys who just want to hold the point of attack and try and keep things clean for their linebackers. But when they make those moves and they can get upfield, past the offensive line into the backfield, that's hard to handle.
It's 2nd and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. A give to Cook out of the gun. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just saying, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and you can hear them now. 3rd and goal. Working out of the gun, Cousins toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That's a good job there, creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Bailey able to knock it through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Check, Lucky.
They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
Undercrush. Got it. Check. Hey. Watch the ship. Bang out. Watch the ship.
From the gun, it's Wilson. Being chased out left. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
Now, following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12.
Friday. Crunch time, defense.
Wilson. And this is incomplete. The rookie DK Metcalf, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Friday. Under 10. He's crashing. Alert.
To throw on 3rd down. Wilson. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. That'll pick up the 1st down for Seattle on a gain of 18.
That's good.
When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want them to feel like it's the end of the world either. Nice that they were able to pick up the first down there, help them relax a little bit.
Now it's Wilson. He's got the tight end, Vanette. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And this belongs to the Vikings. So a first-quarter fumble in the rain, and this isn't supposed to let up. They've had flash flood warnings just west of here, so they better get used to this.
And it's hard to do real early in the game because you're so amped up and you're trying to do so much. You've got to get used to it, though. You've got to focus in on the ball, make sure you're taking care of it. That one cost them.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Gun. Here we go. Go, Mike 51, Mike 51.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
51 to Mike, boys. 51. Hey, Alpha. Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go. Right here, guys. Mike 51. Mike 51. Good route here.
To throw, Cousins. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Third and short yardage, Cousins. It's brought in by Jackson. And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down.
Come on.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Watch the run. They're running, man. Check. Gun.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
On 2nd down, Cook. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10.
We got 4. We got 1. Check out.
Cousins the thrower. Left side caught by Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Running right, Jones. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 yards there and a first down. Couple of very nice carries to start this drive out.
Yeah, 2 first downs. And how about that second one? What a nice run on that particular play. I'm telling you, they're going to start to think that this game is easy if they continue to rip off yardage like this.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
At the 43-yard line.
Check, check. Fresno.
Call it no gain on the dump off, and it's 3rd down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down.
Listen. Check three. Check. Bang out. Bam. Good touch.
Now Wilson. He completes it to Bryant. The 20, 10, 5, and all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Martavis Bryant, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Now Cousins. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Cousins. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Darnell Savage, the rookie from Maryland. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Out of the pistol, the give to Jones. Tackle made by Everson Griffin.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll try the right side with Jones. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. And he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker at the Vikings' 23.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Hey, 315. All day, baby, all day. 49, check 49, check 14, 40 it.
On 3rd and 1, Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Seahawks have taken the lead.
Great field position has to be one of the best friends an offense can have. When you don't have very far to go, you should cash it in with points.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the lead is now 14-10. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They start the drive with Cook. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Run. I hope you got your left because I'm about to take you to school. My
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. They'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They run again on first down. Cook spins by. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Gun.
From the 40 now on second down. Cousins. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence, that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
What's tight? Tight is right. What's tight? Tight is right. Hey, 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 hey. 4 down, 4 down, 4 down.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And Rudolph has it left side. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Don't be mad. Don't be mad. It's more coming. It's more where it came from.
So on fourth down, they bring on the Michigan man, Matt Wild, to kick it away. Back deep, Jakeem Graham. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him.
Now this is where field awareness comes into play. He's getting perilously close to his own goal line, and after that sack, backed up to his own 2.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
All go special. All go special.
Now it's Wilson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jeff Heath. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
Certainly feels like the classic second guess, but let's be honest about it. They had a chance going to halftime with the lead. Why did they take a chance with a throw there? I don't understand that.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. And now this defense has to try to protect that lead going into the locker room.
51 to Mike, boy, 51.
Following the interception, Cousins. His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings are going to retake the lead. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And it's now 17-14. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
Eluded, and a big loss is here as he's taken down. Everson Griffin able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Brings up 3rd down.
So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Check 3.
He'll have a first down past the 40. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 27 yards there, a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. After the penalty, it's Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
2nd down at the 40-yard line.
And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Throwing on 2nd and long. Wilson. And that is incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, Wilson. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Charles, not to point fingers, but how much of this goes on the shoulders of the offensive line? Well, look at the 6 sacks last week. That's the 4th in this game.
Definitely the bulk of it does go on the offensive line. That's what they're tasked with doing, keeping their quarterback upright and clean in the pocket. But I think they have to look at, okay, are we bringing in extra people? Is the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick enough? There are a few other factors that they have to look at to try and help out. But you're exactly right. It starts with the O-line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, Let's take control right away. Defense,
we got the lead.
we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see what the offense gets done.
Cook following the penalty. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time. Forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Check 13. Check 13. Slam, slam, slam. What's the distance? Throw. Check 37. Tighten up, tighten up. Tighten through. Hey, foxtrot.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Ezekiel Ansah make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long.
Hey, receiver. Hey, 7.
3rd and long for Cousins. Completes it right side to Doxson. 25 yards that time.
It's a gain of 25 yards. First down, Minnesota.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
I can't believe they even let you play. Watch the safety. Gun. Gun. Watch the screen. Bang.
They run. Cook. And an alley to run. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard.
Last 50.
They run it again with Cook. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be fielded at the 8. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They're down now 24-14. Work to do as they come up on a 1st and 10. They're going to get about 3 here out of this first down run, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Again, it's Jones. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Mike 42, check. Mike 14, Friday. Run left.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a fourth down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on fourth and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Now, they were good last time out with a touchdown drive. This go-around, it's not going to be very easy starting from inside their own 5.
But they shouldn't be daunted by it. You work on this the entire offseason. You work on it in practice. It's called coming out session. Start the ball inside the 5, start on the 5, on the 10. They should be ready to go.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage.
You must be dreaming. Wide, get wide.
They run with Cook. He's been busy tonight. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Gun. Check. Mike 4. I'm coming after you. Mike 4. Two. Let's go, B. Big Sears right here. So we got to step it up.
On third down, Cousins. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Brad McDougal. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
The 26-yard line.
I got it. Watch tight end. Tight end's right. 4 down. Check 26. Alert. Gotta go. In and out. Let's go. Time go. Let's go. Double count right here. Double count. Hey, easy. Hey, alert.
After the interception, here's Wilson. This is caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with possession of the football, but they do trail here to begin quarter number 4. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Aaron Jones hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Myers connects on the PAT, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now, but let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
From the 30 on second down, Cousins nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Throwing deep for Galladay. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And he's got some space here. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy.
Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it. 12. Check 24, check 24. Watch twist. Watch twist. Shoot. Check 99. Check 99.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Everson Griffin in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
3 down. Watch twist. Whip. Watch the whip. All go special. Good.
And they try to sweep to Jones. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. It's a gain of 7 on the ground, but they'll be faced with 3rd and long.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Kill. Good job right there. Hey, turn it up. 2-6.
They go play action with Wilson. Bryant with a catch right side. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
This is taken at his 4. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Gun! Listen to me. Go!
Laundry on the field. This is going to be a false start on the offense.
Sometimes you have to slow things down a little bit when things get heated. The cadence has to be slow and deliberate at times to make sure your team's ready to go.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long.
Gun! Check! Zebra! Strip that ball! Where's the hot? Hey, Echo!
To throw is Cousins. Throwing deep for Galladay. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Defensively, mission accomplished, and now with under 3 to go, they may be the last team holding the football.
They may very well be the last team holding the football, unless, of course, you're facing a group that is really aggressive offensively and may want to take a gamble, but theoretically, you've done your job now. You should get the ball back on a punt, but I'd be alert for a fake.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Pretty solid run here on 1st down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Jones, and an alley to run. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Aaron Jones with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year as his guys have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes.
Hey, that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off. Now on the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced the 2-minute drill for, right?
Yeah, you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But, boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
Important extra point up and through, and they will take a 7-point lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he's got room. And he's going to take this all the way down inside the 40.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
Kirk Cousins last year started all 16 games, but only led the Vikes to just one fourth-quarter comeback like he's trying to do here.
Gun.
Cousins to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Kyle Rudolph, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as they can now tie the game with the extra point here in the final 2 minutes. The extra point, a vital one, and he gets it to go. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll start in a hole here as he's brought down at the 11-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And able to find a little space. He gets us up over the 15 to the 16. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 16-yard line.
Right.
From the shotgun, a give to Jones. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Here's Wilson to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. It's fielded at the 45. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10.
Bravo! First! Switch!
Here's Cousins. And Diggs has it. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. So it all comes down to the foot of Dan Bailey. This from 51 yards for the win. And his kick here is good. And it'll be a fun time in the Twin Cities tonight. The Vikings win it. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were really helped by their defense forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of. But now it's about taking the ball away, taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Vikings, the win moves them a couple games over 500 now at 7-5, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Seattle, it's a loss that could wind up costing them a first-round bye as they dip to 9-3. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our